The continent of Idre is shrouded in darkness as the Black King and his army emerge, bent on world destruction. Yuri, a valiant knight, leads a volunteer army to defend the Holy Land. In a fierce battle, Yuri confronts the Black King while the Alliance combats the overwhelming Black Army. Aerenus, a prominent soldier of the Black Army, wreaks havoc among the volunteers, prompting Ainslot, a brave knight, to challenge her. However, Ainslot's daring move intensifies Aerenus' ferocity. Meanwhile, Velnir, a mighty magician, and his companions employ their fiery powers against the Black Army. Harawaki of the Ober tribes and his tribal force join the fight to halt the spread of darkness. Within the castle, Yuri concentrates his mana to unleash a powerful attack on the Black King, but it backfires, injuring Yuri. The Black King approaches Fina, his daughter, the guardian of the Holy Book, Chain Chronicle, and the symbol of hope, Sprite Pirika. He strikes Fina and moves to eliminate Pirika forever to finish hope from the world. But Juliana, the Holy Princess seeking vengeance for her father's assassination, intervenes, accompanied by sword fighter Kane, archer Mashidia, healer Marina, and special knight Burkhardt. The Black King summons his Black Army from the ground, forcing Juliana to retreat. As the Black King tries to seize the Chain Chronicle, Fina resists, causing the book to open and unleash the magic. In the struggle, the book splits into two pieces, held by the Black King and Fina. Pirika vanishes and black magic begins corrupting the Chain Chronicle and the world. With the Black King's grip on power and the rise of black magic, the volunteer army suffers defeat, prompting the Idra Alliance forces to return to their respective countries. Ainslot, the Holy Knights, goes back to the Holy Capital, while Princess Juliana and her knights, Wayne, Ares, and Burkhardt, choose to remain with the volunteer army, planning to regroup and grow stronger for their next encounter with the Black King. Yuri, having regained consciousness, heads to the Vice Capital to report his defeat to the Guild Master Gilbert, filled with regret for failing to save Idra. Elsewhere, Aram, a stranger sword fighter, steals apples from a bully to provide for an elderly lady whom the man had mistreated. Aram decides to assist the lady by pulling her cart toward her destination. As Yuri and the volunteer army make their way to the Vice Capital, they confront the Black Army once more, causing chaos in another village. Aram, having just arrived with the elderly woman, confronts the Black forces, but when he is about to be killed, Yuri and his troops arrive just in time to rescue him. The Black Fog hampers Juliana and her knight's mana abilities, but Aram utilizes his powers to help them. With remarkable swordsmanship, Aram gains the upper hand, while Yuri, having overcome his past defeats, enters the fray, ensuring victory and ending the battle. After the fight, the weariness of battle takes its toll on Aram, causing him to lose consciousness. Marina's remarkable healing abilities come to the rescue, reviving him from his deep slumber and granting him much-needed rest. After waking up, intrigued by the tales of Yuri's legendary leadership as the volunteer army's captain, Aram eagerly seeks him out. Amidst warm hospitality, Fina graciously invites Aram to a delightful dinner, where he is introduced to the rest of the group. Engrossed in conversation, Juliana inquires about Aram's aspirations, and he passionately reveals his burning desire to grow stronger and vanquish the malevolent forces menacing the world. Suddenly, an ominous aura emanates from the Chain Chronicle, accompanied by excruciating pain for Fina, its devoted guardian. As the sinister energy dissipates, Fina discovers that the once pristine book has become increasingly tainted, signaling a darkening and perilous world. To worsen matters, Pirika, the embodiment of the world's will, has vanished, putting the fate of humanity at risk. In the shadows, the Black King commands Aerenus to hunt down and eliminate Pirika, understanding that her presence elsewhere could thwart his plans of annihilation. Amid mounting tensions, Aram's unwavering determination sparks inspiration in Yuri, who invites him to join the ongoing struggle against the Black King as a member of the volunteer army. The following day, the group embarks on their journey to the Vice Capital, only to be confronted by a harrowing sight: a fierce onslaught by the Black Army. Time is of the essence as Yuri's team swiftly engages the enemy, with Aram utilizing his unique abilities to siphon Burkhardt's mana during the intense battle. Fueled by an unwavering resolve to overcome the Black forces, Kane, Mashidia, and Yuri unleash a devastating joint assault, inflicting heavy casualties upon their adversaries. Yet their triumph is short-lived as the leader of the Black Army conjures a dense black fog, hindering the summoning of mana for all. Undeterred, Aram taps into his extraordinary powers, gathering and lending mana to his fellow fighters, reigniting their determination to press on. In a fierce and savage clash, they emerge as the victors. Yuri proclaims the formation of the Black King Suppression Squad, embarking on a quest to unite powerful allies and forge a mighty army capable of definitively toppling the Black King's reign of darkness. In the aftermath of the battle, Juliana implores Burkhardt to join Yuri's mission instead of regrouping in Vice Capital. Burkhardt, hesitant to accompany Yuri, tries to persuade Juliana to let him stay by her side. However, recognizing Burkhardt's prowess as a formidable soldier, Juliana insists that he would be an invaluable asset to Yuri, leaving Burkhardt with no choice but to comply reluctantly. Yuri and Fina confer with Gilbert, sharing the news of the losses they suffer in their encounter with the Black King. They divulge their mission's purpose: to assemble a formidable group of individuals to aid them in their quest to vanquish the Black King. Yuri plans to visit Sage's town alongside his newly formed Black King suppression squad, seeking out 3 sages who might possess information about Pirika's whereabouts. Later, Juliana joins the group and Gilbert provides Yuri and Juliana with new communication devices, pledging to assist them in acquiring whatever resources they need. While searching for food in the market, Aram witnesses a man threatening a woman with a knife. Swiftly coming to her aid, Aram showcases his sword skills, disarming the assailant. When his own sword breaks, he spots another sword on a nearby stall, employing it to defeat the aggressor. Dusty, a prominent arms dealer from the Merchant Guild, observes the skirmish and rewards Aram with the sword he had picked up. Upon returning to the castle, Burkhardt accuses Aram of stealing the precious sword, despite Aram vehemently denying the allegation. Fortunately, Dusty intervenes, clarifying the situation, much to Burkhardt's chagrin. Meanwhile, Yuri finds himself plagued by self-doubt, haunted by his defeat and terrified of the Black King and his forces. The following morning, Yuri and his squad prepare to depart for Sage's town, enlisting the aid of Aludra, a universal mage, and Vorg, a dragon slayer, to bolster their ranks. After bidding farewell to Juliana and the others, Yuri and his squad take a break near a forest during their journey. Burkhardt appears dejected and despondent about leaving Juliana to follow Yuri, believing that Yuri is unworthy of being the volunteer army's captain. As Yuri attempts to address Burkhardt's concerns, he excuses himself to seek solace alone in the woods. However, within the depths of the forest, Burkhardt's anger towards Juliana festers and grows. He begins to harbor suspicions of betrayal, blaming her for his injuries sustained in the previous battle. Infected by the malevolent black energy, Burkhardt catches the attention of Arenas, who manipulates his already fragile beliefs, turning him against his comrades. Pressing upon Burkhardt's wound, Arenas triggers a transformation, twisting him into a malevolent demon. Burkhardt, now consumed by darkness, launches an attack on Aram, only for Yuri and his squad to intervene swiftly, preventing further harm. Although their intentions are to help Burkhardt regain control, Arenas seizes complete dominion over him, employing her sinister black powers to whisk him away. Through their communicators, Yuri manages to contact Juliana and deliver the heart-wrenching news of Burkhardt's transformation into a demon, leaving her shattered. Meanwhile, in the Vice Capital, fear of the Black King leads some individuals to revolt against Juliana and the Holy Kingdom. Donning black masks, these rebels go on a rampage in the city, intending to join the Black Army and undergo a demonic transformation. In an effort to aid the army in combating the rebellion, Rowendia, a brave knight of the Holy Kingdom, breaks through the fence on her horse, enabling the soldiers to easily approach and subdue the protesters. Ainslot quickly takes control of the situation before Juliana arrives at the capital with her squad. Once the situation is brought under control and the intruders are apprehended, a young boy expresses a desire to become a demon, prompting Juliana to lecture him and the other intruders about the drawbacks of such a transformation, namely the loss of their true identities. After handling the situation, Juliana reunites with Louise, who had been overseeing the castle during her absence. Considering the rebellious state of the capital, Juliana, Wayne, and Ainslot decide to send a letter requesting assistance to Shuza, who is in charge of the 9 territories near the Holy Capital. In another battle to save Burkhardt, Yuri's arm is consumed by darkness, deeply affecting Fina, who attempts to heal him using the Chronicle's power but fails, much to her dismay. The following morning, the group sets off for Sage's town to seek the aid of the 3 sages. However, as they approach the town, they are attacked by the sorcerer army led by Velnar, Kutya, and Yuri, following an order from one of the sages, Melchior. Velnar unleashes his powerful fire attacks, but Aludra erects a protective shield just in time, thwarting his assault. To aid Velnar, Kutya and her sorcerer army also launch their attacks, but Vorg, with his dragon slayer abilities, bravely confronts them, deflecting their strikes with precise slashes. In order to beat sorcerers, Mashidia, armed with her arrows, also joins the fray but is saved from a magical strike by Kane's timely intervention. Avraham also enters the battle to support his comrades, but his attack on Velnar proves futile due to Yuni's interference. But as Aram is on the verge of being attacked, Yuri comes to his aid, rescuing him in the nick of time. The battle escalates, intensifying the clash between the opposing sides. Just as Velnor prepares to unleash his ultimate fire attack on Aludra, seemingly overpowering her due to her depleted mana, Aram transfers some of his mana to her, allowing her to withstand Velnor's assault and nullify it. Recognizing the worthiness of Yuri's group, one of the sages named Fatima intervenes, ceasing the battle and guiding Yuri's group to three great sages, Doma, Fatima, and Melchior. Disappointingly, Yuri learns that Fatima, the Sage of Destiny, does not possess information about Pirika's location either. However, she directs him toward Maze Pass, suggesting that his true destiny lies there. After conversing with the great sages, Yuri and the other sorcerers apologize to Aludra for their previous attack and express their inability to accompany them to Maze Pass without the sage's permission. As Yuri and his group prepare to depart, Velnor and the other sorcerers join them, proclaiming that they have been instructed by Melchior to accompany them to Maze Pass, where the sages have detected a hidden treasure. Reaching Maze Pass, the group encounters the formidable Black Blizzard and engages in a fierce battle, with everyone fighting with all their might to eliminate the Black Army forces. However, Aram discovers that the Black soldiers are undead and cannot be killed as they regenerate to continue fighting. Just as the situation seems dire, Marina utilizes her healing magic to cast a powerful spell that wipes out the entire Black Army in one blow. After the battle, a furball suddenly appears running from the Black Army that pursues it. As the furball collides with Aram, Velnor unleashes a mighty fire attack that not only eliminates the Black Army threat, but also splits the mountain into two, separating Aram and Yuri from the rest of the group. Now separated, the remaining group decides to seek the assistance of the Earth Sprite first to aid them in finding Yuri and Aram. Meanwhile, Furball becomes attached to Aram, leading him to adopt it as a companion. They travel a considerable distance as directed by Yuri and eventually build an igloo in the midst of an ice storm, deciding to rest there until their friends locate them. While waiting in the igloo, the others approach the Earth and Fire Sprites, Olda and Rolo, seeking their help in the search for Yuri and Aram. Without hesitation, Olda orders another Fire Sprite, Kiki, to inform the rest of the Fire Sprites to join the search in the mountains. Once the Fire Sprites, along with the group, depart, Fina and Marina remain behind at Maze Pass, intending to convince the Earth and Fire Sprites to join the Black Knight Suppression Army and to uncover the reason behind Fatima's guidance to the maze. As Fina and Marina approach the treasure that Fatima directed the sorcerers to find in the maze, Marina touches the artifact and senses an immense magical power emanating from it. At that moment, the chain chronicle in Fina's hand shines and opens to a page revealing that the relic is the Sword of Hope, possessing the power to cut through the darkness. Meanwhile, while waiting in the igloo, Aram realizes he needs to relieve himself and ventures out into the ice storm, only to become lost in its fury. Back at the Holy Capital, Shuza receives a letter from Juliana urging him to join the Black Suppression Army. Concerned by Aram's prolonged absence, Yuri decides to search for him but finds himself consumed by fear. In the midst of his negative thoughts, Aram breaks the illusion, revealing that the negative thoughts were caused by Black Blizzard's influence. Freed from the negative energy, Yuri fights alongside Aram with renewed determination, ultimately defeating the army with their unique powers. Following their victory, Baltazar, Fatima's master and the previous Fate Sage, appears and greets Yuri, advising him to visit the desert oasis Soul Island. After imparting his advice, Baltazar disappears. Finally, the group searching for Yuri and Aram arrives there, and later the Earth and Fire Sprites reveal their willingness to join the Black King Suppression Army, much to Yuri's delight. The next day, the group sets off towards Soul Island as recommended by Baltazar in their search for Pirika. However, they encounter Shuza, who rejects the appeal to join the Black Suppression Army and instead seeks the Chain Chronicle to defeat the Black King on his own and become the King of Yggdra. As tensions escalate between Aram and Shuza, Aram stands up against Shuza's evil desires, drawing his sword to face him. However, before the conflict can escalate further, Yoshitsugu, the second lord of Shuza's tribe, intervenes and confronts Yuri's group. Shuza expresses his desire to obtain the Chain Chronicle, but Fina asserts that the Chronicle's powers only manifest for those it has chosen. Due to the refusal to hand over the Chronicle, Shuza, along with Yoshitsugu and their tribe's army, prepares for a battle against them. It becomes apparent that, like Yuri, Shuza's arm is tainted with black magic, but unlike Yuri, he seeks to embrace the black power and become the next Black King of Yggdra. Yuri steps forward to make Shuza realize the darkness of his thoughts, and the two engage in a fierce battle. Yuri unleashes his ultimate chain attack, but Shuza counterattacks with his own powerful strikes, overpowering Yuri and weakening him. After defeating Yuri, Shuza approaches Fina with the intention of stealing the Chain Chronicle. As Aram shields Fina, Shuza tosses him aside and takes the book for himself. As he holds the book, black energy begins to emanate from it, responding to Shuza's dark magic-infused hand. Enraged by the sight of Fina and Aram being thrown aside, Yuri charges towards Shuza with his sword. However, he is intercepted by Olzada, one of the black magic disciples, and a demonic Burkhardt, weapon brought by Arenas. Arenas reveals her purpose in arriving is to take Shuza and Yuri, both tainted with black magic, and guide them to transform into demons. Despite Shuza's desire to become the Black King, he refuses to go with Arenas, prompting her to order Olzada to battle him. As Olzada fights against Shuza and his tribe forces, Arenas approaches Yuri and attempts to corrupt his mind, making his tainted arm respond to the black energy. With Arenas' efforts, she eventually succeeds in overwhelming Yuri with negative energy, causing him to experience illusions of his negative self and inciting him to attack his own group. To overcome the influence of the dark power, Yuri delivers a powerful blow to his negative self, freeing himself from its grip. However, in his frenzy, he accidentally strikes Kane, who had stepped forward to protect Fina. In the midst of protecting his friends and fighting against the Black King, Kane suffers severe injuries, leading Yuri to scream in anguish at his grave mistake. Overwhelmed by pain and grief, Yuri succumbs to the influence of the black powers, transforming into a demon. Meanwhile, Juliana, with the support of Louise and Ainslot, decides to take on the role of the successor to the Holy Capital. As the new queen, she endeavors to gather her people and lead them out of the fear instilled by the Black King, determined to overcome his power. As Yuri succumbs to the black powers and transforms into the Black Knight, he loses consciousness and becomes a devil filled with dark energy. He attacks Aram with his black sword, but Aram manages to evade the strike, though he is stunned by witnessing this side of Yuri. Meanwhile, Shuza, who was already against Yuri, seizes the opportunity to try and kill him, unleashing a powerful attack. However, Olzada's magical creature intervenes and blocks the attack, leaving Shuza in dismay. Yuri, along with the other Black Knights, departs through a portal headed towards the Black King. Left alone, Shuza visits Aram and the rest of the group, attempting to persuade them to join him in his mission to become the next king. However, they adamantly refuse his offer and choose to remain separate from him. The next morning, the sorcerers decide to journey to the sages' town to inform the three sages about the situation. The rest of the group plans to travel to the vice capital, where Kane needs to be treated with the assistance of the healers from the Healers Guild. However, Fina and Aram choose to stay behind and proceed on their way to Soul Island as instructed by Yuri before his transformation. Juliana receives news of Yuri's transformation, leaving her dismayed. However, as the queen, she remains determined to bring Yuri back. Meanwhile, Shuza has already rallied the army around his tribe, seeking their support in bringing down the Black King and becoming the next ruler. After some time, the sages finally obtain the treasure for which they sent the sorcerers to Maze Pass, discovering that it is a powerful sword capable of opposing the Black King. Fina and Aram, after traveling for several miles, finally reach Soul Island, hoping to find clues about Pirika. However, they are confronted with an immense surge of black energy emanating from within the island, a sign of demonic Yuri's presence. Upon reaching Soul Island, Aram recalls the purpose of their visit, which is to find the renowned fairy named Idra in the World Tree Library. This fairy possesses a chronicle that can help them locate Pirika. However, before they can make any progress, they are confronted by Black Blizzard. Just as they are about to be harmed, Vienta, one of the fairies, uses her magic to save them. Vienta takes Aram and Fina to Rafalgar, another magician, who is already engaged in a fierce battle with the newly arrived Black Army. Upon Rafalgar's order, Vienta attempts to take Aram and Fina inside the library. However, they are surprised by the sudden appearance of the demonic Yuri, who rushes toward Aram for a battle. They engage in a fierce fight, exchanging powerful blows. As Yuri gains the upper hand, Rafalgar and Vienta release a chain attack on him, causing Yuri to briefly disappear. Using this opportunity, Vienta takes Aram and Fina inside the library, where they meet Idra. Idra opens her chronicle and transports them inside it to search for Pirika. While inside the book, demonic Yuri appears once again, attempting to take the chronicle. In the process, the chronicle falls and becomes stained with black energy, resulting in Aram and Fina becoming separated within the book. As Aram explores the book, he witnesses emotional aspects of Yuri's life, which motivates him to bring his friend back from the clutches of demonic powers. He encounters illusions and comes across Baltazari, who uses his wand to show Aram a time when he and Yuri were in the mountains. Aram witnesses Yuri falling and rushes to help him, but he is pushed away by the demonic Yuri. However, Aram does not let go of Yuri's hand, demonstrating his unwavering support. In the illusion, Yuri fights against his demonic self and emerges victorious, using the light of hope to defeat demonic Yuri. After returning to the real world, Fina joyfully informs Aram that Pirika is about to appear in Idra soon. In the Holy Capital, two strong knights from Shuza's tribe, Haruaki and Toka, express their desire to join Juliana upon hearing about Shuza's plans to become the next Demon King. Meanwhile, in Shuza's tribe, he witnesses a ray of hope emerging from the chronicle, symbolizing progress and Pirika's imminent return. In order to find Pirika, Aram and Fina reach the Land of Sand, where they meet Desert Queen Ashrina and inform her about Baltazar's saying of the reappearance of the Guardian Dragon again. Hearing it, Ashrina orders her apprentice Pharaoh, wanting her to bring the tablet in which there is a song written, and Musica, the forest's legendary songstress, can only sing it to awaken the Guardian Dragon. Just when they are talking to Ashrina, the news of Shuza and his forces' arrival reaches them. But before Ashrina takes any action, Khalifa informs her that Juliana with holy soldiers also arrives in order to battle Shuza and stop his evil mission. Shuza wants Juliana to let holy knights join him, but unlike him, she wishes to eliminate black power from the world and begin living happily as it was always before the appearance of the Black King. Knowing that the war will only bring benefit to Black King, Khalifa offers a peace talk between Shuza and Juliana, which both accept peacefully. But even in the talk, Shuza denies letting go of his mission of becoming the next Black King, much to Juliana's rage. Before the end of their talk, the sudden, startling news of the Black Army attacking them arrives. To battle the Black forces, both Shuza and Juliana go to fight alongside their soldiers, but before they have the upper hand on Black Army, Olzada appears there to battle Shuza again. She summons her rock puppets with her black magic and engages in a fierce battle against Shuza. As Juliana gets fatigued cause of fighting for long, Burkhardt appears there to mock her weakness and pity her. Without delay, he begins to fight her with his might and gives her a tough time, but as he is about to kill her, Ainslot comes forward and saves her in time. On the other hand, no matter how hard Shuza tries to kill Olzada, she regenerates to battle him again. After getting rid of Burkhardt, Juliana, in a rage, rushes to fight Shuza, and both come across a fierce battle, resulting in their rage and dark side coming out and trying to take them over. Just when Juliana and Shuza's negativity exceeds and begins to engulf them, Aram steps in to stop their fight and protect them from transforming into a demon. Arenas is irritated by Aram's behavior, and Burkhardt makes fun of his former lord Juliana for losing control. To stop him, Aram battles him with all rage and might, but when Olzada and Burkhardt both collectively come to attack Aram by throwing his swords away, he gathers mana from his hands and releases the powerful attack on them. On the other hand, Fino, along with Musica, tries to awaken the Guardian Dragon by singing the song written on the tablet. As Musica sings, Furball has a strange feeling, causing a whirlpool to create around him from where a powerful fire sword comes out to Aram. Using the sword, Aram releases a final attack that kills Olzada, leaving Burkhardt injured in shock. It appears that Furball is the new Guardian Dragon whose presence gives the upper hand to Aram and Juliana, making Arenas and Burkhardt run away. After everything settles, the Stolen Chronicles shines with hope and goes to Aram, only to get disdained again. This sight impresses Shuza, causing him to leave them, overthrowing his evil mission. After Shuza, Juliana also offers Holy Knight services to Black King's suppression army, much to Aram's delight. The battle ends and the group proceeds to Sage's town. However, upon reaching there, they are surprised to find the artifact attached to a ship. The sages explain that the artifact has been modified to teleport them closer to the Black King, but it requires Musica singing. The sages reveal their plan to teleport the ship, along with the King's suppression army, near the Black King. Juliana is instructed to lead her forces to the Holy Capital to launch an attack on the Black King. However, before the plan can be implemented, Burkhardt arrives with a large force of black soldiers. His intention is to take the Chain Chronicle from Fina and thwart their approach to the Black King. With the assistance of his forces, he taints the artifact with his black magic, disrupting the teleportation process. In response, Aram summons his mana and swiftly disdains the tainted artifact. The ship, along with the magicians, is teleported to the main capital near the Black King, but their celebration is short-lived as Aram witnesses Fina being taken by Burkhardt, who now possesses the Chain Chronicle. Burkhardt leaves the partially destroyed ship behind, leaving everyone in dismay. Despite the setback and the Black Army gaining control of the Chain Chronicle, the Black King's suppression army remains determined and gathers the courage to launch another attack. Musica, using her potential, sings with all her heart, causing Arc to respond and remove the Black Shield protecting the Black King. With the shield gone, Juliana and her forces, along with the remaining magicians, enter the area and engage in a fierce battle against the Black forces. The final battle commences with chaos unfolding everywhere and the Black King's suppression army fighting with all their might. Burkhardt tries to separate Juliana from the group to defeat her, but she proves to be more powerful and ultimately kills him with a devastating mana attack. Meanwhile, the Black King has completely tainted the Chronicle, much to Fina's dismay. Elsewhere in Black King's search, RM comes face to face with the demonic Yuri, who no longer remembers their friendship and is solely focused on killing everyone. The rest of the squad fights the Black forces with great determination, irritating Arenas and prompting her to unleash an ultimate attack on Juliana to weaken her forces. However, just in time, Shuza arrives with his forces and saves Juliana from the attack. In a final showdown, Shuza challenges Arenas and successfully defeats her, putting an end to her evil attacks once and for all. Meanwhile, as the Black King attempts to completely taint the Chronicle, Fina takes a bold and selfless action. She calls upon the Chronicle as its caretaker and absorbs all the black energy onto herself, cleansing the Chronicle and preventing it from being tainted. In the fight against demonic Yuri, everyone rallies together, including Kane, who had been gravely injured by Yuri previously. Encouraged by the presence of his friends and loved ones, RM regains his determination, and they all join forces to battle Yuri, not to kill him, but to free him from the influence of black magic. Their collective efforts pay off, and the black shield surrounding Yuri disappears, revealing a kind and brave Yuri. As Fina completes the process of cleansing the Chronicle, the Black King mocks her efforts, intending to stain the Chronicle once again. However, Yuri, RM, and the rest of the squad intervene to stop him. They engage in a fierce battle against the Black King, using all their strength and abilities. Furball, the Guardian Dragon, aids them in their fight, ultimately defeating the Black King's dragon form. But the Black King, determined to destroy the world, undergoes a further transformation, becoming even more dangerous. However, RM and Yuri manage to cut down his black magic, weakening him significantly. In a final move, RM and Yuri unleash a powerful chain attack together, stripping away the last remnants of black power from the Black King, leaving him powerless. Filled with remorse, the Black King, pitying his daughter Fina, raises the light of hope from within the Chronicle to protect her life. In doing so, he sacrifices his own life. With the death of the Black King, the Black forces are eliminated and the light of hope is restored, bringing a newfound shine to the kingdom. The appearance of Pyrrhica signifies the end of the battle, and the world is now protected. The death of the Black King paves the way for a brighter future, free from the darkness of the Black forces. The end. Check also our other videos. Thanks for watching.